Okay, you probably know that feeling. You sit on the couch, you scroll through Netflix, Disney Plus or Amazon Prime, whatever it might be, and you just can't decide which movie to watch. Or you sit on your desk, on your computer, you scroll around YouTube, you have so many subscriptions, and you just don't know which video you want to watch next to support your favorite creator. Or you sit on your phone and scroll through Spotify, or in my case, YouTube Music, and you just don't know which album or which track to watch next. Or you stand in front of your closet and you just don't know what to wear this day. That is basically what we call decision fatigue. Decision fatigue, basically when we just cannot decide what to watch. We sit in front of the couch, as I said, scrolling through Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and we are totally overwhelmed with what to watch next, what to listen to next, what to watch on YouTube next, what to wear. And for me at least, sometimes then I scroll for half an hour and I'm not able to decide which movie I want to watch. And then I basically just select something that I have already watched just because I know what I'm getting and I don't want to kind of invest time in something like a series where potentially I might be disappointed after just a few episodes, although I already invested like 4 hours into it. And to avoid this kind of decision fatigue, some people like, for example, a very famous Steve Jobs decided only to wear this black turtleneck and a blue jeans. And as far as I understand from some of the articles that I read, it's to avoid this kind of decision fatigue. He basically, as far as I know, and this is probably just my interpretation of it, he said, okay, I have so many important things to decide. I'm going to eliminate those unimportant, or at least to his eyes, unimportant decisions like what to wear the next day, which is basically why he decided only to wear that black turtleneck and blue jeans. Personally, that is not for me because I do like fashion. And now I do wonder, how do I prevent getting into this decision fatigue? I honestly don't really know. Obviously, the best solution would be to kind of limit yourself just like Steve Jobs did. But with something like streaming services or music services where everything is basically at the tip of your fingers, it is much harder to limit yourself and not get overwhelmed by all of the choices and therefore decisions that you have to make. So I asked Google Gemini what to do when getting into decision fatigue. Alright, so let me read the answer from Google Gemini. Here are some solutions against decision fatigue. Automate small decisions. Reduce the number of choices you have to make daily. This is why people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg famously wore the same outfit every day. You can also apply this to other areas of your life by creating a daily uniform or selecting your clothes the night before. I think that is actually a really good solution to kind of postpone or kind of shift one decision to a different day so that the next day isn't kind of overloaded with that decision. Eating the same breakfast every day, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm always eating Huel, so check on that. Having a pre-made shopping list for groceries, yeah, I'm always doing the mistake of going grocery shopping when I'm hungry. That is a terrible idea. Don't do that, you always overbuy. Using a meal plan to avoid deciding what to cook each night. That's also a good idea. I think in a family situation, that's maybe not as easy because everyone has some different moods what to eat. And then next, prioritize and make important decisions early. Your brain is freshest and most energized in the morning. Tackle your most critical and complex decisions at the beginning of the day before decision fatigue sets in. That is actually also a good idea. I think from a work perspective, that is great. But I mean, right now we're talking about those decisions that are fatiguing us, that are in our free time. Delegate decisions. If you can delegate some decisions, okay, this is basically all in terms of work. Limit your options. I think that is really cool, something that I said previously, but with something like streaming services, that's obviously not as easy. Gemini says, limit your options. Having too many options and choices can be overwhelming and contribute to decision fatigue. Try to simplify your options. For example, when grocery shopping, stick to a list to avoid getting sidetracked by impulse impulse. Alright, so if we kind of push that to the other side, maybe instead of having Netflix, Disney Plus and Amazon Prime, an idea and also a good savings option would be to cancel one or two of those services. I actually paused my Netflix subscription, so maybe after the pause I will just cancel it all the way, because as I said, too many choices is fatiguing, and yeah, limiting your options is definitely a good solution. Establish routines and habits. Routines and habits are essentially decisions you've already made. By creating consistent routines for things like your morning, evening or work schedule, you reduce the number of choices you have to make on the fly, saving your mental energy. Okay, that is good, but again, something that is more work related, and I'm kind of looking for a solution for life. Take care of your physical and mental health, good enough sleep, yeah. Don't second guess yourself. Once you've made this decision, try to stick with it and avoid replaying it in your mind. Overthinking and rehashing past choices can be a significant drain on your mental energy. Yeah, that's probably also a good idea, but let's rephrase that question a little bit more. Great answer, but how about things like being overwhelmed by choices on Netflix, for example? I mean, that's a very stupid question, but let's see what Gemini answers. Okay. That's okay. First, I'm just going to skip the introduction that Gemini says. Create a pre-decision ritual. Have a go-to list. Before you even open the app, have a list of a few shows or movies you heard about and want to watch. This could be a physical list, a note on your phone, or simply a mental cue. When you sit down to watch, you check this list first. That's actually a pretty good idea. The first 3 trailers rule. A great strategy is to limit your browsing time. When you open the app, decide what you will only watch the trailers for the first 3 shows or movies that look remotely interesting. Then you pick one of those 3, commit to it, no more scrolling. Okay. Use Netflix roulette tool. Decision. Leverage the algorithm with a strategy. Use My List or Watch List. This is a simple but powerful tool. When you heard about a show you might like, add it to your list immediately. This way, when you sit down to watch, that's something that I do, but my to watch list is already so long that it's even more overwhelming. Filter by a specific genre. Instead of scrolling through everything, immediately go to a genre. Yeah, okay. Reduce the stakes. Adopt the 3-episode rule. For a new series, tell yourself you will watch the first 3 episodes. If you're not into it by then, you can switch. I feel like that's what I'm doing, but I then sometimes get a regret of having wasted time watching those 3 episodes. But yeah, go for brainless versus brainy. Some days you just don't have the mental energy for complex drama. Categorize your viewing based on how much mental effort you're willing to expend. Maybe you have a 30% brain night for light comedies and a 90% brain night for heavy-hitting documentaries. Okay. I think those are really good solutions that I could potentially implement. And yeah, again, this video is all about decision fatigue, and I told you in the beginning that I don't really have a solution, but I think these solutions that Google Gemini gave me are very interesting. Let me know, what are your solutions against decision fatigue? Comment below. And yeah, I will definitely go into this a little bit more in future videos. So maybe watch first the vlog from yesterday. YouTube thinks that you like the video here, and push the like and hype button. And more importantly, if you want to see my next video about this topic, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. I'm looking forward to read your answers about this, and I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.